think we ended, and then we didn't really come up with a solid time or not, but I think it was like roughly around dinner time or maybe after dinner, early evening. You guys were offered to take, Tony's mom offered to take Butch and Steve home. And as you were pulling out of the driveway, you happened to see a helicopter and a tank going zooming down the street. Do you want to pick up from there, or do you want to start like already at home? I have a couple little ideas that might be fun for some home stuff, but it's up to you guys.
Well, I'm happy to go with what you'd like to introduce, Jeff. I don't know about the other guys. I mean, in one hand, what do we do when we see them going down the road? But it's kind of cool, mystery-wise, to leave it at that and move on. What do you think, guys?
I'm absolutely down with that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of how I pictured it was, they just sort of like zoom past and just fade off into the distance, with that mystery of where are they going? Why are they by themselves? What's going on? And with no solid, clear answer.
And my optimist just went, enemy detected.
Yes.
Hang on. Weren't you going to play something out with Butch?
Oh, yeah, because we didn't... I had my nephew pop in before I had a chance to really talk about my robot.
Yes, right.
My discoveries with it. While we're all kind of messing around with with the bots, I started poking around and found that the treads for the crane, when it does a transformation, it can also transform from the crane itself, where the treads unrolled around and they wrapped around his wrist. The pod where like a person would sit in there kind of formed into almost like a slingshot sort of handle, and the top base of it and the arm for the crane leveraged down, and the cord that holds the wrecking ball on the end of it wound itself back up and stuck onto the crane arm, and I was able to kind of give it a grip, and it would launch the wrecking ball out as far as the cord would allow it, but it would launch, and I found that I was able to stack up some of the boxes and wind it back, and then press and grip again and knock down the boxes with the wrecking ball. And it probably, I don't know how long the cord would fully go, but it probably only had about maybe 4 to 5 foot length. It wasn't that it wasn't that long, but it was as far as it would allow me to stretch. Excuse me. So kind of the alternative use for it was being able to kind of make it like a paddle ball slingshot sort of deal.
Yeah, I like it. I happen to think, I don't know if this falls in line with what you were thinking, but we were talking about it hooks up with Steve's base spider, and I was thinking in my head I started picturing it's almost like a scorpion tail with the crane arm, and that maybe it almost did a loop where the ball would start spinning almost to like a projectile that would spin around in a circle or something. But yeah, that's cool. So is it like an elastic cord, or is it just like a propulsion sort of system that actually just launches it and it's just tied to the string?
Yeah, I don't really see it being elastic. That wasn't one I hadn't pictured the first time. I don't feel like it like returns back with a spring and it will bounce back and stuff like that. I just feel like it would go the furthest distance and then the cord would eventually snag and that would be it would just drop from there.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I could see it, with it being docked up to the base too, if it were doing like some sort of like a defending maneuver, and it would do the, as you said, like the helicopter sort of like spin, and it would like have it long enough length that the ball itself would be able to like spread to the outside of the base entirely. So if anything got close enough to it, then the wrecking ball would be able to defend off like any attackers, like battle bots.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice. Now, yeah, so that would, yeah, okay, perfect. But that's what I was trying to think, because some of the descriptions, like they tell you what it turns into, but it doesn't really tell you what it does. So I think we've got to. Tony, what was your Optimus Prime? What does he like do when he's in robot form? Like in truck form, you know, he's a truck basically. I remember you mentioned like laser cannons.
Yeah, I think it's almost his thing's more just being the leader, but I wanted him to have some kind of weapon, otherwise it would be a bit lame. Mm-hmm. So I thought maybe like a laser gun, a kind of large laser gun in one of his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe with him being a truck, it would be big enough that the smaller vehicles, like I think there was a police car, which I decided my brother would have.
Yeah, I remember that.
And there was another car as well on the list that maybe they could kind of drive into the back of the truck and be transported, you know.
Yeah, that's cool, yeah.
So I wasn't really thinking of anything else weapon-wise, to be honest,
mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
He just kind of goes in with a fight, a punch, and a gun.
Maybe with like being the like a tractor trailer and it's got a sense of being like more rugged and
mm-hmm.
like steel frames, almost like a defensive thing than an offensive.
Yeah, big chrome thing, which would probably be on his chest when he's a robot form, you know.
Yeah.
The grill, you know.
Yeah, not afraid to just run in and just bash something.
Yeah,
yeah, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, that would work.
So a couple of things I wanted to ask you guys. Keep in mind with your character sheets, you know, if you guys think of like when you might want to do a dice roll, just let me know, because I'm still wrapping my head around the whole game system. So if I'm like not paying attention enough to say, oh yeah, well that would be a good tinker move or something like that, you know, feel free to remind me or suggest it. And the same thing, keep in mind, you know, sort of, it's not really metagaming, but just keep in mind at the end you get the experience points. So like when you get a point for like using your pride. So just keep in the back of your head that if you can somehow introduce your pride into the gameplay, it'll help you at the end of the game. I think that was the only real.
What was it? Can you remember off the top of your head, Jeff, or if it's handy, what are the things again? If you help one of your friends or something like that.
Yeah, I just wrote it down. So,
and that might help us think ahead.
Yeah. So the easy one, which is a no-brainer, you participate. So that's, you automatically get one. If you got into trouble, which is basically just, you know, in game, that's just the term they use for just basically, I don't mean like getting in trouble with your parents. I just mean like, you know, something happens basically. So if you get in trouble because of your problem, so that's why I was asking you, like Chris, with your drunk father, maybe, you know, you somehow either mouthed off to him or came home and he was drunk, or vice versa, he wasn't drunk and you thought he was, or something like that. So like, if, you know, feel free to introduce your own story that would put yourself in trouble, so to speak. Whether or not you struggled with your pride, I just interpret that basically whether or not you used it or not. Used it for like motivation to do something beyond what you would what the average person would do. Yep, and the one you talked about, Ken, the risk, put yourself at risk for the other kids. And the last one was whether or not you learned something new, which is almost a given. Speaking of which, did you guys? I thought you had to fill it up, but I read it today. You only need to spend 5 XP in order to level up one of your skills.
All right.
I don't think, did any of you get 5 from last time?
No.
No, I got 3.
Okay. I didn't think so, but I just want to mention that.
Yeah, I've got 3 total. I couldn't tell if that was because my character sheet didn't save but because we've had 2 sessions now. So I wasn't sure. Did we get any XP in the first one?
The first, meaning last week, or
the very first one, with the robot fish.
The robot fish. We went through it, but I don't think everybody got everything because like I said, I don't think we were paying attention to whether or not you used pride or not, or whether you. Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember I got some for using my non-tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do it last week, Chris, so that's obviously from the one before.
Okay.
The ones we've got.
Yeah, it's sort of loose worded, like it's supposed to be at the end of a session, which I think most people play out these, like the whole scenario is considered one session. So maybe we'll do it at the end of this one, or it's not supposed to be every time you play, in other words. But so I was thinking, so it's going to be later in the evening. You guys arrived home, and we could do just a quick sort of home scene setting. Tony, I didn't really have an idea for you. Is there anything in particular you wanted to do, like during downtime where like you're at home by yourself or with your brother?
Well, I think when the night that we played, when the guys are getting dropped off, Tony would go straight into his brother and kind of play with the 2 toys together. You know, his brother's got the police car, and they would be doing the loading the police car, and then they would be fighting, and they would be pressing buttons and getting them to talk and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he would be just hanging out. Then Dad would be home, Mum would be back again after dropping the boys off and have dinner ready, and then whatever at night, you know, just a kind of quiet night. He maybe went up, let's say his bedroom's upstairs, so when he went upstairs to his room, he checked out in the back gardens again, because once everything had settled down and it was a bit quiet, he was remembering that story from the morning where somebody had gone through the back gardens or messed up the back gardens, so he was kind of looking down as the lamps were on at night, you know, to see if there was anybody sneaking around the back gardens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'd maybe be sitting there at the window or kneeling on his bed at the window. He's got Optimus up at the window, and he's imagining Optimus is checking it out and scanning the area, and he's saying, "Scan the area," and all this.
Yeah.
And Optimus is obliging and going, "Scanning area," as he's doing that.
Nice. I'll say this. I'll say, you know, it's late then in the evening, so like maybe you're already getting ready for bed, getting ready to call it a day, and you just happen to do like one last look out the window, and you notice that going down the street are one of those the black cars that look so ominously some sort of government official type important, and it just is like going down your street like real slow, you know, like nobody drive that slow. But after watching it, it's all it does. It just goes through real slow and just continues on.
Like that, Tony would fall back, bounce onto his bed, fall back, and be like, "Whew. I wonder if they're chasing the robots that went down the street earlier, or they're trying to find them." And so he goes through this whole reverie story in his mind about them looking for it and him with Optimus, and Optimus is helping him investigate the mystery, and then he falls asleep.
Mm-hmm. Steve, I'm going to say you get home, after dinner, we'll say. So you already, your mom wasn't expecting, she's not mad or anything like that. But you come into the kitchen and you smell something really good. And it turns out your mom's been baking cookies.
Oh, wow. Brilliant.
But when you walk into the kitchen, there's like baking stuff and just rack after rack after rack of warm, freshly baked cookies. Like way more that you and her could possibly eat in like 2 days, She just went to town and just went crazy baking these cookies.
Are we having a party?
No, I just got carried away. I just was looking for something to do, and just I thought you'd enjoy them.
Yeah. Thanks for my present, though, Mum. Look at this. Look, it's huge. It's enormous, and it turns into a spider.
A spider does it.
Yeah, and it's like a robot. It does things that you tell it to do. It's amazing.
Oh.
It's the best present ever. Thanks, Mum.
And she's very, you're quite welcome, but there's that air of, she's not quite paying attention to you, like this is almost like her job you're talking about now, and she likes to leave that at work, and now she's home baking cookies, and I mean, she's obviously acknowledging you and all that, but it's not like she's engaging you and be like, well, what does it do? Tell me, because that seems a little bit too much like work for her.
I'm gonna get a bit of kitchen roll or whatever it's called in America, and what is it called in America?
Paper towel.
Paper towel. There you are. I'll get a paper towel or two, like this kind of thing, and I'll just sort of bundle up some cookies in it, and immediately head upstairs. Or, well, I don't know if I might live in a bungalow. Mm-hmm. I immediately head to my bedroom with some cookies and my enormous box, into which I have carefully repacked Alter Ego, and then I'm going to set about unpacking it properly in the ready cleared area in my bedroom. I cleared out earlier, and trying to explore what it can do. I really want to see if it can climb up walls, but I can't do that in the house. I'll have to wait until the morning for that.
Okay.
But I'm mainly going to find things for it to attack.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very surprised when at one point I put something on the bed. I put a box on the bed and a box on the floor. And I said, attack box. And without warning, it just jumps off the floor onto the bed and attacks the one on the bed. I just stagger back. Whoa! It can jump. This is awesome.
Oh man, there's like those jumping spiders, those little.
Yeah, the ones that just watch things.
You know what? Here's what I'm. In the course of getting it back out of the box and seeing what all it does, there is a definite something you notice that's different about the fact when you were playing with it back at the hangout. It's a combination of almost like it almost feels like less responsive. Like you say attack box, and it just sits there and maybe like swivel or changes its view or something. It's like, and then it takes you a second time and you say attack box, and then all of a sudden it'll kick in and do it. So there's like a weird sort of, it's not quite as responsive or doesn't quite follow your exact orders the way you interpreted them. So there's something different about it.
Are the cookies all right?
Yeah, they're good.
They're just normal cookies. They don't taste funny or anything.
No. What kind of cookies do you want?
They'd probably be chocolate chip one. I'm just every now and then I'm just going to sort of wander out of my room and peer down to the kitchen and see if she's still baking.
Mm-hmm. She's just busy, just going, pots and pans are rattling in the background, just basically keeping herself busy.
That's weird. She's normally watching TV at this time.
Especially if you kind of think that with the big giant toy opening day release, she's probably been really busy at work. So you would tend to think that, that she would definitely be just kicking back and relaxing, but she seems to have all this extra energy.
At the time, it's like Dallas is on. She never misses that. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm just going to go explain my toy because
right.
That's far more interesting than my mum being weird.
Important.
Yeah, this is a major matter. I want to find out what else this thing does.
Butch, when you get home, you don't see your dad in the house, which is not unusual, maybe. But it becomes clear to you that you either see a light on in the back or maybe you hear some tinkering noises, but he's back out in the garage. I don't know. It's up to you. Do you want to go check it out, or would you rather just not bother him, or?
No, I think that I probably got this new toy and I tried to just kind of sneak in and take it up to my room and kind of hide it away before he ends up seeing it. In my head, I kind of had a thought that maybe he stops me on the way through, kind of, and starts questioning, hey, where'd you end up getting that, but his he just wants to keep it out of sight and out of mind from his dad, so he doesn't run into that scenario, So he probably uses the sounds as an indication that he's probably got a clean path up to his room with nothing in his way.
Yeah. And then maybe I would imagine, I'm picturing he's not around in the house, so he's got that clean, takes the box up, you can unpack it up there, get it all not necessarily hidden, but not obvious to your father, so he's not aware of it. And then at that point, once you get that all taken care of, then you'll go downstairs and maybe just give a quick, hey Dad, I'm home, or just let him know that you're there, or maybe not. I don't know.
I think if I got up there with nothing stopping him, and he probably would kind of wander down to see what's he getting into now, probably thinking, probably fully expecting to see him kind of not thrashing about, but stumbling about and stuff like that in maybe the garage or the sunroom or something like that, and just kind of peeks around the corner and to see whatever he's doing. I'll just put it out there, I don't know what he's doing. I just kind of look in to see if I can see anything out of the ordinary. But I think at this point, though, I notice that he's got the collar on, right?
Yeah.
So probably just take a mental note of that, and just think about I've seen that before from the people with the at the event and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then probably just grab a can of cola from the fridge and then try and head back up to my room and just seclude myself for the rest of the night.
Okay. Um, let me ask you this: how do you picture? Do you picture your dad as being like just like a typical? I don't mean this to sound like an insult, but typical like blue collar, not overly thinking things, not necessarily like the top of the technical department, or like honest, like intelligence wise, how intelligent do you picture him?
I think he was a pretty capable guy. Maybe maybe of average intelligence, but he's just kind of like put that all aside, and like I haven't decided on like what he probably would have done before everything happened with the broken home scenario. But he was more than he is now, and now it's just to the point where he's just kind of taking whatever jobs he can get. He's practically burned all his bridges because of his problem and stuff like that. So,
I'm going to ask you if you're interested to see what he's doing. Let's see if we can do maybe a roll for that. Maybe the investigate roll.
Okay. Mind. So I only have 2. No success.
Okay. All right. So he just gives you like, maybe you just let him know that you were home, and he just gives you a nonchalant, glad you're home, or, he acknowledged you briefly, freely, and there's no real conversation.
Okay.
I want to do one other scene with you, Steve, where it's now middle of the night. Whatever that means. As a kid, you don't really necessarily. Could be 2 a.m. It could be 4 a.m. That doesn't matter. It's just middle of the night. There's a noise that wakes you, and just a little. You just kind of startle awake to a noise that's nondescript.
No, fight you.
Beavers and ducks.
It's in the wardrobe. Where's the noise coming from?
It happened so quickly, and it was kind of like it's not even hard to describe. Like you were sound asleep, so it didn't really quite register, but like maybe a thunk or a bump or a bang or.
I'm going to get up and look out the window.
Outside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. You don't see anything. Everything seems to be all quiet.
I'm going to get back into bed and just sort of lie there and listen. Which I think is what that's what I do anyway. It's like lie there and listen, and then just like sort of fall back to sleep while listening.
Yeah,
but whatever,
listening intently. So you're laying in bed, you're kind of like staring up to the ceiling, just focused and concentrating on listening. But then suddenly it strikes you that when you got up to look out the window, you didn't see your spider spindle.
Is the window open?
No, window's closed.
It's turned itself on in the middle of the night. I suppose I'll turn the light on.
Yep, light goes on. It's nowhere in your room.
Alter ego, come here.
There's no response.
And then I'll repeat it again because for some reason. I think it's probably got something in the mic or something. It's got some dirt in it because I have to keep repeating myself. So I'll say it again. Alter ego, come here.
Mm-hmm. No response.
I'll look under the bed.
Nothing.
Oh, what? What about the closet? Is it in the closet?
You open the closet door. All your usual junk's in there. You don't see it.
And the door's shut?
The door to like your bedroom, you mean?
Yeah.
I'll say it's open.
Oh, no. It's... Oh, where's it gone? Oh, I'm just going to... I'll go out and look for it. Actually, I'll take my flashlight because I don't want to put the light on because I'll wake my mum up and she'll get annoyed.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to sort of sneak around the house.
Yeah.
With my flashlight.
Okay.
And every now and then just saying, Alter ego, come here. Like it's a puppy.
Yeah.
Where have you gone?
You.
Oh. Damn it.
I heard the ear flap.
Yeah, I know. That means it's time to rub your back. He just comes and presents his back to be rubbed. Scratch my back, monkey.
So you make your way out into the hallway. You know, everything's pretty much quiet. It's middle of the night. You got your flashlight, and it's casting like some kind of eerie shadows. And you cast your flashlight down the one end of the hallway, and then you kind of glance back behind you, looking at the shadows, and you notice that your mother's bedroom door is closed, or maybe it's slightly ajar, but there's a very faint, slight reddish glow coming from under the door. From the crack.
Oh, no. Oh, it's got in my mum's room. Oh, no. I'm going to just sort of like put my T-shirt over the flashlight, make it a bit dim. I'm just going to sort of nudge the door open a little bit and just sort of look for where the red glow is coming from.
Yeah.
To see where it is.
The scene is that as the door kind of slowly opens and kind of creaks a little bit, you're nervous that the door might wake up your mom. But as you see what's happening, the spider is on the bed and it's like looking directly at your mom, who's sitting straight up in bed. Although it kind of looks like she's still asleep.
Oh, their eyes open.
Mm-mm. Or wait, no, maybe they are.
I'm just going to sort of whisper sorry and then walk over to Alter Ego and pick it up.
Yep. And then the lights that was on Alter Ego, the lights turn out, and your mom just sort of just slowly, not plops, but just kind of falls back and lays back in bed.
Huh? I'm going to put it back on the bed.
Nothing really happens.
That was weird. Okay, I'm going to take it back to my room. And I'm going to make sure that I shut my door. And I'm going to put it in the closet. So
Okay.
it doesn't get, I think, I mean, I'm just thinking I probably made a noise when I was asleep or something and accidentally turned it on.
Okay.
Phew, that was close. Nearly woke my mum up.
Yeah.
That was weird.
And then, you know, you go back to sleep. Uneventful night. Next morning, now we're to the point where it's pretty much wide open here. How do you guys want to proceed at this point? You got a bunch of leads and somewhat mysteries.
I think I'm going to start by As soon as I get up, I'm just going to go to the closet to make sure that it's still there.
Yep.
Okay. And then I guess I'll go to the kitchen and have some breakfast, which I guess is going to be some chocolate chip cookies because there's quite a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should also see if your mum's still there.
Oh yeah. Where is my mum? Is she up yet or?
Yeah, we'll say she's still in bed. Actually, she's still sleeping.
It's Sunday now, isn't it? Though. So.
Sure. Let's say it's Sunday.
So yeah, it's her day off. So I guess yeah. Well, ordinarily, I'd probably think about like making my mum some breakfast because it's her day off. But I guess I don't have to because there's loads of cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just take a few cookies and I'm going to go back up to my room and I'll get dressed and go for my run. And then practice my forms, my Sulim Tal, and then when all that's done, making sure that no one can see, I'm going to sneak out into the back garden, like into the corner of the back garden where there's an old sort of like a dead tree that my mum's been talking about getting someone around to cut that down for years. But I'm going to see if I can get the spider to climb up the tree.
Yeah, so after a few repeated attempts, again, it seems a little bit off than what it felt like before. But eventually it makes an attempt to climb the tree, and with its feet, it does.
I've got my hands right behind it in case it falls off because I don't know if it will work. So
yep.
I'm worried about breaking it.
It does tend to like dig into the dead tree. It's almost like digging in, and it's awkwardly making its way up. It's not a smooth action. It's kind of like it's struggling, And then at some
when I see it struggling, I'm just going to take it off the tree because
mm-hmm.
I don't want to damage it.
Yep.
Because I'm aware that like my chances of getting this replaced, if anything that happens to it, are pretty much zero. So I don't want to damage it, and I don't want like a 7-legged spider or something. Not on the second day. I've got
not on the second day. All right. How about as a group? Do you guys? Well, does Tony or Butch? Did you want to do anything individually, or do you guys want to just get together as a group and decide? Or
yeah, I think I'd head over to Tony's later in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And take it with me. I'll probably take a Tupperware box with loads of cookies in it as well.
Cool.
Because there are really a ridiculous number of cookies in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure we've got enough cookie jars to put all the cookies in.
Yeah.
I guess that would be our normal as well, where the guys just come round to the garage and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially on a Sunday, just after we've all got these fantastic new robot toys.
And Butch would grab Recomex and kind of stuff it under his hoodie to try and conceal it a little bit, and start creeping on the steps and looking to see if he can see where his dad is. He knows that his dad knows that Butch will probably just be in and out throughout the day on the weekends anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just kind of looking to see like if his dad's still up and doing stuff or what where he might be right now.
I'll say you hear some heavy snoring coming from his bedroom.
So he does the sneaking as he goes past, kind of like a tiptoe sort of like pressed up against the wall, sliding past the his dad's room door, and skips over the top step because he knows that one creaks.
Yeah.
So he like edges like right around the edge of that and hops down and basically takes his more confident steps down the rest of the way and out the front door, grabs his bike and heads off.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll just fast forward to you guys are hanging out at the hangout.
When the guys arrive, I've already got a whole bunch of old cardboard boxes up. It's supposed to be a cityscape, and I've got He-Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, and that all balanced on top, ready to be destroyed by the robots.
Nice.
So we can probably spend about half an hour or so just kicking the hell out of all the superheroes with our new guys, you know.
Yeah.
So I think Tony wants to say to the guys, you know, do you remember those secret agents that were up by the lake? I saw a car like with secret agents last night going down. I think they're FBI. Going down the road last night when I went to bed.
Dude, I keep seeing those cars. There was one of those where we were getting the robots.
They were going so slow it looked like they were either searching or I'm wondering if they were looking for that helicopter in the tank. Did you guys see it in the car when my mom dropped you off?
Yeah. Did you see the helicopter could fly?
It was awesome.
It really fly. That was so cool. I wish I've got that one now. Well, no, I don't, because this one's great. But you know, like, it's kind of weird you should mention that because I got woken up last night and like alter ego had like walked out of my room. I swear I shut the door as well, and it was in my mum's room, like on the end of her bed.
Oh, what was he doing?
It was just like sitting there looking at her. But like the really weird thing, right, was that like my mum was just sitting up in bed, like she was asleep but just sitting up. And then I went in there. I sort of sneaked in there because I thought she was awake, but I just sort of whispered sorry and picked up alter ego. And as soon as I picked it up, she just like lay back down to sleep again.
That's weird.
It was really weird. And oh look, I've bought some cookies because my mum has baked like 100 cookies.
Awesome.
Crazy.
My mum's made lemonade.
What's the special occasion?
Look, there's loads, and I get out this like absurdly big Tupperware container full of cookies.
Yeah, I would watch your Deceiver bot because that time that he attacked the box and he was going for Optimus, I thought he was going to stab my leg.
Oh wow! I tried to make him climb the tree this morning, and he like stabbed right into the tree. It wasn't very good at climbing, but he's good at stabbing.
Aren't spiders supposed to be good at climbing?
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are like spiders that live on the ground.
But what about that helicopter last night? If somebody owned that, it flew away, and the tank and the helicopter were both going down the road together. There wasn't anybody with them, was there?
I think maybe they like. I think maybe they might be a bit too sensitive and pick up on just any noise and start like doing stuff.
Oh, hey, what if they escape?
Maybe they're picking up like radio signals and getting interference. Because I know that like our next door neighbor, she used to get like radio signals and like police signals on her baby monitor sometimes. So it might be like that. They might just pick up like little radio signals and just start doing like random things.
And you say you saw those suits drive by you last night?
Yep, they were going really, really slow.
Were they
Why,
going
but why,
same
why
direction?
would they be? Why would they be after toys?
I don't know. Well, remember when we were at the lake, these guys turned up, and that dude with the seal with Penny, he had, remember the equipment he had? So maybe these guys were going to steal the equipment off him, and maybe they were chasing the robots because maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they're building something.
But they could just go to the toy store and like buy them.
I don't know, it was weird. Unless it was because one of the neighbours was talking about people going through the garden, so unless they were keeping an eye out, I don't know, something weird going on.
It's kind of weird that they do stuff on their own. And like you said, like when we were playing with them yesterday, like it didn't want to stop, did it? I mean, I had to pick it up to stop it.
Yeah, well, Optimus seemed all right, but yours was a bit scary.
Yeah, I think maybe they've got like sort of something wrong with them. I don't know. Maybe I think really maybe they should just be like an instruction book.
Why don't we could always take their toys down to the comic shop and we could speak to Bill, and because he's always really cool. He tells you about stuff that's going on. We could ask him if anybody else's toys have been flying about.
Yeah.
I think there's something weird. But Butch, has your guy been behaving well? Has he been doing okay? He's not been doing anything weird or breaking anything without you know?
Not that I've noticed. I was breaking boxes and knocking over soda cans and stuff like that last night in my room, but that was it. Because I didn't have anything that happened with mine, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just think there's something weird going on. And if somebody's been sneaking about the gardens at Mabbit, then we could always check that out. We could go and find the neighbour and find out what was going on. But I think we should find out about these robots that were flying about themselves.
Yeah. I mean, because like, if they're just like going around on their own, I mean, maybe they don't belong to anyone.
We could add them to our collection.
Yeah, if we could find them, we could have them maybe, or like we could find them and then just like, if no one claimed them.
And Butch
I think it's 28 days. If you have something for 28 days and no one claims it, I think it's yours. I think that's the law.
We'll keep them in the garage then.
Yeah. We should go and look for those. But your one could detect things, couldn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe your one could find them.
Presses a button. Optimus, find helicopter and tank robots. Would you like me to transform? Yes, please.
Yeah, it does a little, and he's into the truck mode now.
Is it big enough for me to sit on? Not really.
Probably not. I mean, maybe like really awkwardly.
Oh, okay. Hold on a minute, and Tony runs into the house and he, Mom, what are you doing? You know, could you drop us down at the comic shop? Because it's obviously going to be difficult transporting all our, if we're taking our toys, and then Tony's idea is to show them off to the guy at the comic store and things like that.
I'll say, I'll say with yours and Butch's, they pretty much will fit in a backpack okay.
All right, okay.
Maybe Steve's with the Spider and Winston's with the aircraft carrier. They might be a little bit too big. I I mean, you could do it like you brought it with you on your bike, maybe, so you've got it with you now.
Mm-hmm.
But to transport it about town might just be awkward, is all. Like you could do it, it's just gonna be awkward.
So we could leave it in a box and lock up the garage.
Yep, or just bring it with you and just have it be awkward.
Mm. What do you want to do, guys? Do you want to bring them?
I don't know. I think I'd. If you got something is there something I can lock it in? Because I don't want it wandering off again.
There's that old filing cabinet. You could put it in the top drawer. It's empty.
Yeah, I'll put it in there. I'll put it in there. Is there a key for it?
It's hanging out the lock.
Oh right, yeah, I see.
It's a bit rubbish, but
I'm just gonna put the spider in there then, because I don't want to take. I'm really worried about breaking it, so I'll just sort of put it there.
Okay.
Can you take the batteries out?
Do you think he'll actually believe us? Wouldn't it be better if we tried to take them to show him?
Well, I guess. I mean, okay. Look, I'll take it with me, but like, you got to help me if it starts trying to like stab something again. You got to be quick and grab it, because if it starts smashing stuff in the comic store, he's never going to let me back in there. Remember what happened when I knocked that Silver Surfer display over?
yeah, he was mad.
Yeah, he was pretty upset.
So Tony does an ET, right? And he gets a towel or a cover, and he kind of he's got a wee basket in the front of his bike.
I just had an awesome visual of maybe with yours, Steve or Mick, the fact that it's got like 8 legs and all, you could actually like wear it on your back like it's like
it's a backpack.
Like it's a backpack.
Okay.
Winston, since he's not here, maybe his could be carried all awkwardly. But
all right, I'll do that. I'll carry it like a papoose.
Yeah.
Sorry, the word papoose just sparked me off then. A brilliant word. Sorry.
So Tony sticks Optimus's laser hand out, and then he's speaking to him as they say, I guess they're going in the bikes then, is that right?
Okay, sure.
He's talking to him on the way down the road, and every now and then he's saying Optimus track, helicopter and things like that, and off chance his sensors, can go miles or something like that. Yeah.
You can tell he's sort of like trying, but you're not really getting any decent feedback.
Okay. So he's back in robot mode then, and he's kind of sitting in the basket, and unless there's anything else, we get to the comic shop, I would imagine. Or did we notice any after telling the guys about that car, did we notice any strange black vehicles driving around the estate slowly?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Maybe it's like a block away.
Right, well, that pull on the brakes, the squeal. It's like, guys, look. Optimus tracks secret agent. FBI. Optimus is like, I'm fed up with this guy.
You don't get any real response from Optimus.
But we want to be watching these guys, right? See what they're doing. Should we try and follow them?
Yeah, I think I just want to know who they are.
Is it? I mean, obviously it's probably nondescript, but is there anything like it could be the same guys that I saw the night before, late on, or would I not be able to know that?
I'll say it was too dark at night.
Okay.
Didn't quite.
Yeah.
If you do an investigate roll, if you get a success, I'll let you get a clear shot of who's driving now.
Okay.
In fact, if you all want to try that, or just let Steve try or Tony try first, it's up to you. Because I imagine you're all seeing it.
Yeah, we're all spying on them, really. I got one.
Okay.
Nope.
I haven't got investigate, so I would just make a mind roll, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
I got 2 successes. Oh, hang on. Just let me see. Yeah. I thought I keep forgetting whether the elder sign on a Cthulhu dice is a 1 or a 6. Strike. Obviously, it's a 6.
There are 2 people in the car. I'm going to show you. This is what's... There's a man and a woman.
And the woman has a substantially bigger head.
And he almost looks like he's got like a David Bowie lightning bolt or something.
Was
So yeah, you did a good
impersonation.
Are they dressed like civilians?
Yeah, they basically have a typical like Men in Black. They got black suits on.
Well, that's kind of weird.
And are they doing anything? Or are they just driving about?
Just driving real slow, just going down, and they're just kind of like looking around.
So I guess we follow them for a while, right, guys, and see what they're doing. Does it just kind of continue that way, Jeff? Did nothing unusual or unexpected happens?
It does, but I'm going to ask if you are trying to do it sneakily. I'm going to ask you each to do a sneak roll.
Oh, I'm definitely going to be sneaky because I got chased off by these guys before. Well, I don't know if it was the same ones, but it was definitely one of these black cars, and they followed me for ages.
Do you know what? Here's a plan. If one of us gets seen, why don't we just cycle right up to them and say, "Hey, mister, are you looking for something? We saw robots going down the road," and see if they tell us anything.
Okay. It's just if I make a really good sneak roll, that means that you're going to get seen, and then suddenly I'm just going to pop out of nowhere and just go, "Hey, mister."
Well, it might. If these guys are bad guys or weird, then it means that you get to escape. Wow, I got 2 successes out of 4.
Mm. That's a lot of dice rolling.
I got 4 successes out of 6.
Wow.
4 successes.
I'm literally just, if anyone gets seen,
Come on,
literally
Butch.
just going to appear in the back seat of the car and say, "Hey, mister."
Come on, Butch.
I got 2 out of 7.
Nice. Yeah, so I mean, you guys are like on your bikes, just going in between tree to bush to shrubbery to part of the car, and
We're ninja.
yeah.
We remembered to take off the pin with the playing card and the spokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing my dark blue tracksuit today. The other one's in the wash. That's why I'm more difficult to spot without the yellow one.
So they're just continuing their
Yeah, so after, a little while, it starts to become boring. It's almost, they're just driving around real slow. They're not really doing anything.
guys. Go ahead.
You go first.
Guys, do you think I should go and tell them we saw robots, but I'll go and you guys hide and keep an eye out? I want to know why they're driving about last night and they're still driving about today.
Well, look, okay, but if you do that, I'm gonna hold your bike ready for you to jump on it because I think you might have to run, and I don't want to go over there because what if they're the ones that chased me before?
Well, keep an eye on Optimus then, okay?
Okay.
So if I can kind of cut them off so that I'm able to kind of cut across a garden or something and get them at the corner, I stand at the side of the road and wave.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
I put on my most innocent expression.
That's the only expression you have, isn't it?
Kid full of wonder.
Yeah, so, the car clearly sees you, and it starts to slow down even more. And it kind of like pulls across the street, into the wrong direction, and it comes over to where you're at. And the passenger window rolls down.
Is it the guy or the
yeah, we'll say the woman's driving.
Okay. So it's the guy I'm speaking to, yeah?
Yeah.
So, hey, mister, are you looking for those robots?
And he gets a look on his face, almost like, yeah, have you seen him?
We saw them last night.
Last night? Where did you see him?
I tell them where my street is. And I just say it was a tank and a helicopter. They looked awesome, but nobody was with them.
And with that, that sort of glimmer of excitement or surprise that he had in his eye, it fades. It just disappears. And he gets back on the little bit of a stoic face again. He's like, oh, right. What was it again? It was a what? A helicopter?
A helicopter and a tank. And is that not the ones you're looking for? And I'm kind of trying to be childishly manipulative to see if he would tell me the kind of one he's looking for. Should I do a roll to try and manipulate this guy?
Yeah. Just, go ahead and check your sheet, see if there's anything that might come in handy.
It's charm.
Yeah.
Charm, and that's heart, which is my best thing. So I'm get 7 dice.
Nice.
After that good dice rolling, I better get one now. 2.
Okay.
So if I can be a bit pushy here, I know one's a success, but I know if you get extras, you can kind of get extra bits and pieces. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm kind of trying to lead him in a way that he'll, before he realizes, maybe give something away about the kind of robot he's looking for. If that's what he is looking for, I'm assuming that just now, but it might not be. Or if it's not one of the robots, if it's a person or something else.
Yep. So he kind of spills the beans a little bit, and he's like, yeah. He says, that's what I was actually going to ask you if you did see anything. But to be honest with you, I don't think we're looking for the same thing. You're talking about you're talking about those new toys, those new robot toys that came out yesterday.
Yeah.
And he looks to his partner for a little bit of like, should I be saying this? And the partner just kind of gives a quick short nod, and he turns back to you and he's like, the ones we're looking for are much larger.
Robots?
Yeah.
No, they were and I described the size of them, and I go back to innocent kid, and I describe the size of them, and I start havering and getting excited about what they could do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I maybe tell them that I've got one at home, and I start talking about Optimus and tell him Optimus and how he speaks back to me and all that. Kind of get carried away.
Yeah. Anything in particular you want to do with like your extra charm success?
Well, I think what I might suggest is, because I live in the area, and I could keep an eye out if he wants to tell me what the bigger ones look like, and we'll keep an eye out for it. And we could always I don't know how we could let them know, but
yeah, that's a good idea. So let's say he gives you kind of he's trying to hold the cards close to his chest. He doesn't want to reveal too much information, but he tells you enough to give you like an idea of what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. So he lets you know that I think you might have noticed already, he said robots in the plural. So first of all, that's one thing. He's looking for more than one. Mm-hmm. And he gives you a description of each one, and they're like, one is sort of boxy. It's got kind of wouldn't even call it a head, but it's got like a TV screen almost for like the head or the face, if you want to say that's what it is. It walks on all fours, and the other one is more upright, and it looks more military-ish. And you can read into that however you want.
And what if we see one of these things? Do we phone the police?
And he digs into his coat pocket and he pulls out a business card and he says, if you see anything, call me at this number. Cool. And it's his name. It's his name. Andrew.
What's his name?
His name's Andrew.
Cool. That was better than I expected, guys. So after that, Tony then says, the one with the TV head, can you watch the TV? Do you get to watch programs on it?
Not that sort of a screen. It's more of
computer.
Well, it's a combination. It's a computer, and at the same time, it sometimes will form a face. So like,
wow.
It'll have like eyes and like a mouth.
That's cool. I wish Optimus could do that. So I think Tony's quite chuffed with that, and he kind of heads off and he says, well, I'll phone you, Mr. Andrew, and if we see anything, I'll tell my pals to keep an eye out.
Yeah, please do. Let everybody know that we're looking for these.
Just as he's going away, he turns around and says, hey, mister, did those things go through somebody's garden? Because my neighbour said that somebody had gone through their garden the other night.
Again, he looks a little hesitant, but he says, yep, that's the ones we're looking for. We already talked to, I don't know if I already gave her a name, but Mrs. Marbles.
Mrs. Marbles.
We already spoke to Mrs. Marbles. She wasn't able to give us much information, just that they went through her backyard.
Cool. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll be able to help you.
Yeah, please do. And you know what? I'm going to change it up slightly. The business card that he pulled out, it's not like his business card per se. Mm-hmm. It's got on the back of it, he just wrote down Andrew.
Okay.
But on the front of it, it was for the, oh, shoot. Hold on. Page flipping. It's for the Apple Farm Yard Motel.
Okay. So obviously Andrew doesn't work for the Apple Farm Yard Motel, but I realise he's just given me a card with his name on it and a number.
Yep, room number will say room 102.
Right. So with that, Tony is absolutely chuffed with himself because he feels like he's just solved two mysteries at once now. And he's kind of walking back to the guys, like, really showing off.
Strutting.
And I'm guessing the guys were ready to, make a run for it and all that. And he's just like walking up the road as if he's the most important person ever. And he's like, guys, wait till you hear this. And I download the whole story, rather quickly. And also tell them that the thing about the neighbour, that obviously these big robots have escaped, and there's at least two of them because the guy said robots, and they then go into detail about the head and the TV and all the different things. So, wow,
like proper big robots.
He said they were big.
Oh. Are they meant to just wander off? I mean,
well, you've seen them before. The ones that work in the factories and things. But these ones are different. This one was like your spider. It was got like 4 legs or something. He said, and a TV head.
Hey, maybe it's like that. Maybe it is radio interference or something, and like that something's like broadcasting, and they've wandered off for the same reason that my one woke up last night. and the two in the street as well. That could be it, couldn't it? I bet it's something like that.
I wonder if, am I right, Jeff, in saying that the garden invasion situation was like the day before, and then the next night, so it's only like maybe over 24 hours later or thereabouts. Then we see the toy robots going down the street, or is it more than that? Is it 2 days later?
I'm just trying to think. I think it actually would have been closer to like maybe a week.
All right. Okay. So a long time.
Yeah. The garden thing happened about a week or so ago.
Tony was just having this crazy idea that maybe the small robots were looking for the big robots because maybe they were, like you were saying, they were attracted, signals and all that, radio waves, that maybe they were attracted to the signals, but a week later doesn't maybe make sense. That's crazy. So there's 2 robots on the loose. And these guys, Mr. Andrew here is from room 102, is looking for them. She looked a bit scary though. She was driving.
Yeah, she was all business.
That's crazy.
Did they? Is there a reward or anything for finding them?
At that, Tony's face drops and he realizes he never asked. He's like just absolutely disappointed. He's gone from total elation and I'm like the problem solver, mystery solver to I could be making a lot of money. I missed my chance.
I'm the mercenary of the group. What's in it for me?
So what do we do next? Do we still go and check out the comic shop and find out if he's heard anything about? You
can if you want. It's really
if it's happened to other people's toys, then there might be loads of these things around. We could just go around picking them up. We could get a full set.
Do you know? I just had a thought.
As long as they don't wander off again.
I had a thought, Steve. If yours misbehaved last night and just went wandering, maybe that's what happened to the other ones. Maybe there's something wrong with them and they just go wandering. So you might need to.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You might need to lock it up at night so it doesn't disappear.
That's what I did last night. I put it in the closet. When I got it back, I'm gonna. I just hope it doesn't like wake up in the closet and start sort of like smashing holes in the door or something.
Did you lock it? Did you close it in the closet and it still got out?
No, I closed it in the closet when I went and got it back.
Oh, right.
After I got it back from my mum's room, I put it in the closet before I went back to sleep.
Maybe
it was just on the floor when I went to sleep.
Maybe it's because your guy's a deceiver, because Optimus is a goodie, so he wouldn't do that. Isn't that right, Optimus? Affirmative.
It's just... I'm sure I shut the door. I'm sure I shut my bedroom door. I never sleep with the bedroom door open. I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, I've never liked it. Weird.
So shall we just head down to the comic shop and talk to Bill that runs the store, and we can tell him about, we can make it a top secret thing, because he's told me top secret things. For example, that Lovecraft, a guy called Lovecraft, I don't know who he was, but he wrote scary stories, wasn't writing fiction, it was real. And so he's not told me much more about that. But so after showing the robots off and we show them the guy moving and all the rest of it, we can tell them about these other robots on the loose in hushed tones.
Yeah, okay. Let's go and do that.
Yeah.
There's another one of those. They've got that new John Byrne Superman comics out soon as well. So
cool.
Might have that in. I might go and pre-order that.
So yeah, we can just fast forward. You guys get on your bikes. You make it down to downtown area, sort of near the toy store. Maybe a block away, if that. Comic book shop. What's the name of the comic book shop?
Bill's Comics.
Okay. You open a door, a little bell rings as the door opens. You go in. It's not very crowded. You know, there's maybe like one other kid in there right now. And Bill just catches your eye. And he's like, "Hey guys, what's up?"
It's like holds Optimus up. We got them.
And he's like, "Oh, awesome."
So we get them to transform in the middle of the shop, you know.
Yeah.
Do the voice command in that to show off.
Yeah.
I very carefully make sure that I'm not going to tell mine to attack anything. I'm not even using any words that sound a bit like attack. Like hat rack or something.
Yeah, and you know, Bill's impressed. He's like, "This is awesome." I mean, you know, let's face it. If he's running a comic book shop, he's like a little kid too. So he's just having as much fun as you are, as, you know, messing about, seeing what they do.
Yeah. And then after a while of all that kind of stuff, maybe we ask about that new Superman comic and when it's coming out, and we tell him this about these secret agents that we've met, and you know, he's got to keep this top secret, and there's robots on the loose, and they're looking for them.
Yeah, he's impressed. He's a little bit unsure at first, like, are you
getting carried away?
Yeah, just making fun of him, or what's going on? But I assume you're just being truthful, right? You're not trying to, and the only other piece of information that he will share with you is he's heard a few rumors from a couple of the kids that have already been in this morning, that some of the kids are upset because some of their brand new toys just got up and left.
Oh.
Tony's like elbowing Steve. See, you need to lock him up.
I guess I wonder if you could. We should maybe take the batteries out. Can you take the batteries out?
After looking, there's no easy compartment to figure out even where the batteries are.
Well, Lug thinks that's very suspicious. I know. I just said that you said that. You don't have to repeat yourself. But
that was a spindle.
Stupidly used his name out loud. Luckily, I only said it twice. You say it 3 times, he appears. Always appeared anyway. Hello. Did they say which toys they had though that wandered off? we saw a helicopter and a tank last night, just going down the middle of the road on their own, and the helicopter was flying.
Oh wow. He doesn't give you a clear answer. I mean, he's not sure he remembers all the names of these different things. If you do a roll, I might be able to give you a piece of information.
Okay, what sort of roll would you like me to
do? Good question. Do an investigate.
Oh, my Achilles heel. 2 out of 3.
Nice.
I'm on a roll tonight.
So after a little bit of time, he recalls. He says, "I think one of them said that one of them was a snowmobile, and I think he confirms that the other was the helicopter." And he's like, "I didn't even know this thing could fly. I mean, that's amazing for the price of these things. The fact that they can fly."
Hey Tony, I think you're right. Because will you shut up, please, dog face? Because all of the ones that's wandered off, my one and the tank and the snowmobile and the helicopter, they're all deceivers.
That's right, because I cut out the thing on the back of the box that tells you all the good team and the bad team, and that was the deceivers.
Bill, has anyone with the convoys that had them walk off?
He pauses to think, and he's like, "I don't think so. I mean, I clearly haven't talked to everybody, but I have not heard of."
I'm just going to turn to Butch and just go, "Oh no, look, we've gone and got the ones with something wrong with them."
I don't think they're defective. Mine was working normally.
I think you just got to lock them up.
Butch kind of like grabs Recamax, and he pulls it off to the side, and he's like stroking like the crane arm, like just going right down the side.
I'm holding on to mine like that, like a pair of Cockney braces.
Tony's looking at Butch and he's feeling unusually brave, and he's like, "That's weird." and inside he's just feeling, just that wee bit proud of himself that he got one of the good guys.
I like how through the adventure, Tony's emotion and feelings are up and down like a roller coaster.
Yeah, he's a bit. I think I'm seeing him as a bit hyper.
Yeah.
Up and down like a bride's nightie.
I feel like if like Butch was there and he just kind of like pulled it away, and he started saying that, and Tony says the whole "that's weird." Like Butch kind of like shoots him a look, and he's like, "Watch it, nerd."
At that point, he's just intensely, examining Optimus again, going back into his protection mode. Because he has that fear of the bully thing. So, what do we do with all this crazy stuff, guys?
Well, look, I say that we go out and see if we can find some of the missing ones.
Okay.
I mean, I was thinking, we could get a reward maybe if we found one of the missing robots, but we could even get I know it's just like kids, but like their parents might give us a reward if we found missing.
Yeah, that's true.
And if no one claimed them, we could just maybe just keep them.
We could end up with a whole garage full of robots.
We could get the whole set.
If we were looking for the robots, we could maybe find the big ones or find the small ones, but either way we might get a reward for it.
Yeah, I think we should just find out. I'd like to know why they're walking off, because I don't want mine to go. Maybe if we found them and took them back to the toy shop. Hey, we could just go back to the toy shop and and just ask if there's something wrong with them.
I saw that, Butch.
As you're talking about going back to the toy shop, Butch is like kind of looking a little uncomfortable, and he's like just kind of like spacing out off to the side, and he's like looking at Recamax.
Tony says to Steve quietly, Butch doesn't want to take his back because he loves it too much.
Slam.
Like in one motion, it like transforms into the gun on the wrist and shoots the wrecking ball over at Tony.
Tony's brains are on the back of the comics now. It just got darker.
I'm going to do that. You know what? Give yourself
You're going to do that?
1 hit point, Tony. 1 hit point damage.
So I get hit with the thing, right? Okay.
Yep.
Whoa! That thing's dangerous.
He maybe kind of falls to the ground and slightly drops Optimus, and then he's checking Optimus is all right.
Dude!
I didn't think the cord was that long. You'll be okay. And he's like just winding back the rope.
And as this happens, as he sort of does this, and Tony falls back, there's this noise and a kind of whirring on my back, and Alter Ego's eyes light up red behind me.
Yeah,
like a red halo behind me. And I get sort of slightly worried.
Yeah.
That this thing's just turning itself on my back.
You feel it kind of like hug you almost. It's like a little bit of a grip.
What's going on? This is weird.
I guess Bill's not too chuffed that we're carrying on in the shop, you know?
Yeah, he's lost interest in you guys already.
So let's head. What do we do next, guys? You know, what do we just go cycling or what?
Yeah, if it helps, I don't want to like lead you guys by the hand, but if you feel like you're stuck or if you just want ideas, I can throw some ideas out for you if you want.
Well, a kind of side thing that we could do is spy on the FBI people, because we now know where they're staying. But that's not really the prime goal, is to find robots, really, you know. So
I will confirm that is an option.
Mm-hmm. But I would do that later on, you know, like we could go out after tea time and check them out. Maybe they'd be making out in the room.
Well, I'll say this. You've already mentioned two things now, so I'll confirm both of those things as options. One is the hotel with the FBI type people. The other is the toy store. And there's a third one if you want. If you kind of think back at some of the clues I gave you from the first episode, there was something sort of unusual, or that if you wanted to follow up on that, that's an option.
There was something in last episode that it was a toy company, the marketing people were, or whatever, somebody was missing.
Correct.
Ursula, was it Care?
Yep.
Was missing.
Ursula, and there was a second name. I don't know if I gave you the second name or not.
I've got another name, Helen Voss.
Yes.
Were they both missing? I thought it was just one of them. Was it two of them?
The two of them, yeah.
Yeah, so those guys, you know, as we're talking about things that we can do, Tony's remembering that. Do you remember back at the toy store, there was two people who had gone missing and they came to kind of replace them?
Mm-hmm.
But how would we find them? I think we should go to the toy store, guys. Because some of the, you know, if your robots, if the deceivers are kind of going a bit crazy, then they might know if there's other ones going crazy in the shop.
Yeah, there might be like something like they could do to fix it. You might be able to take them in and get them fixed or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Butch, I wanted to ask you something. I nearly forgot. Does your dad have to wear one of those collar things for work?
Yeah, I noticed he had one on last night.
Yeah,
He said he got a job, and I didn't know it was actually at that factory.
My mum's got one of those. It's kind of weird that they don't let them take it off outside of work.
They don't let them take it off?
Well, I don't know. I mean, she hasn't taken it off. She's had it on all the time.
Like, Butch doesn't know this because Butch hasn't talked to his dad about it, so he's not aware that you could take that stuff off.
It's weird. It's like a metal collar. Well, it looks metal. It might be plastic, but it looks like metal, like the face of Biotron from the Micronauts. But if you rub his face off enough, it's just like white plastic underneath. It's a bit of a scam, I think. It's a bit of a swizz. I thought it was metal when I got it. But at least his feet turn into motorbikes. So that's quite good. I guess it's probably nothing. You know what adults are like. Always doing something weird.
Right. So do you guys have a preference? Where do you want to start? Not start. You've already started. But.
I mean, I know Butcher's reluctant to go to toy store, but Steve and Tony could always go in and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually wondering like how big you think it would be if it's been transformed and on my wrist, because I'd probably like try and just like keep it in that form and just try and pull my sleeve over it.
Yeah. Well, so you're saying that when it transforms, it's actually like something you wear? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like because the treads had like wrapped around my wrist and stuff to kind of like almost make it like a belt that fastened on there.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I didn't get that before. Yeah, well, so that's fine. Yep, you could, pull your sweatshirt down over top of it. I mean, it's going to be bulky, but it won't be obvious.
Probably maybe that may not be a good idea because it may actually look like I'm actually trying to steal something right there and then.
You know what? Let's do this. I will say too, since it's Sunday, the toy store is going to be closed, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can't go there.
Knowing that, then I would be on board to go.
I've got a thought.
Well done.
What if the toy store? I mean, they're toys, aren't they? So what if the toy store is where they're all going when they get out? I mean, isn't that where toys would go? To the toy store?
Yeah, it'd be like going home.
Yeah.
Or they would go back to the factory if it was home where they were made.
Oh, yeah. It could be the factory, you're right.
Do you know, we could always check the toy store window. They might have a sign up if there was anything wrong with the toys.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the toy store is like a prison, so why would you go back?
It might be like a recall. You know, like those things a couple of years back, those rubber tube things that everyone was playing with, but it turned out they were full of like dirty water. Might be like that.
Ew.
Or my auntie, she bought like this fake Cabbage Patch Kid doll in Missouri, and it was full of dirty bandages.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'll stick to robots.
All right, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna say you guys land on the idea to go back to the toy store, but I've been notified that Butch's mom or Butch's dad's has given him a curfew, so he's got to take off right now. So we could either just end it there, or I have one other small scene that we can play out. If you and Ken, if you and Nick want to do it real quick, nothing elaborate.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Or Butch, I didn't mean to like throw you under the bus, but
All right. I'll
if
leave.
you want to take off, keep going. Or just hang out. It's up to you. I figured it's just one little scene I have. Shouldn't take that long.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, normally it wouldn't be an issue for me to stay later, but tonight I can't stay too late. So
okay,
but
keep going then.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I'll say we'll say that you guys land on the toy store as an option. You're not quite sure why exactly, but maybe you'll just figure it out once you get there, and maybe things will be apparent. You get back on your bikes from the comic book shop. You're headed down to the toy store. It's only about a block away. And could each of you roll investigate? I'm going to treat investigate like a spot hidden.
Nope.
Nobody's going to pass.
No pass.
No? Okay. Let's do this. Butch, you're kind of bringing up the rear. You're not entirely excited to go back to the toy shop. So Tony and Steve, they kind of just ride right past this parked car. But as you're passing, something catches your eye out of the corner of your eyes. You're riding past on your bike, and it's something white, and it looks like it's underneath of the car, something small.
We're all on our bikes at this point.
Yep, I'm figuring you're all on your bikes, just heading down to the toy shop.
I see. If it caught my attention, I'd probably kind of give it a second glance and kind of like slow down a little bit, like kind of hit the handlebar brakes a little bit and slow down and turn my head and take a closer look.
Yeah. So at a closer look, it's a white roller skate.
Do I need to roll anything to remember?
I don't think so.
If I remember there was a roller skate one.
I don't think so.
If we're
Do you
invested
remember,
in this
or is that
toy store. Yeah, I mean, I remember that there was a roller skate one because we were making fun of that for a while.
Yep.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's just a single roller skate.
Yeah.
It probably jogs Butch's memory, and it's just like that's not, is it? And I'll probably like kind of like skid my bike real quick and like come to a stop, and then like look over at it and like, hey guys, wait up, and then I'll like go over to see if I can pick it up.
Mm-hmm. Tony and Steve, what do you want to do?
I'm going to go over there and watch him do it, because that's one of the convoys. That's ruined my theory now about the deceivers running off. So unless someone just thought it was rubbish.
Butch, it's kind of like under the car, so it's not easily reachable, but you kind of like bend down on your hands and knees, and as you reach under to grab it, it like pulls back from you.
Oh, everybody froze up for a second, so I was like, wait, what happened?
Oh, sorry. So did you hear? So you went to grab it, and it just kind of pulled back away from you.
Is it like in the roller skate form, so it like just kind of rolls back?
Yep.
I'll kind of like press myself down and kind of get under the car a little bit more, see if I can reach out for it, and like just kind of like.
Yeah, the more you do that, the more it just creeps back just out of reach.
I want to have the dun 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 thing right now. I had a funny image of Butch with your hand thing and a roller skate in one foot, and you know, like some kind of weird mechanical warrior.
So if I'm on the ground and I'm like reaching in, and Tony, did you come back over too, or is it just Steve?
Yeah, I think he's probably further behind because they were heading on, and Steve's headed up towards you, and I'm maybe a little bit behind. But I'm watching.
I'm going to try and sort of squat down to see if I can see under there. But
yeah, like I figured if I see you there next to me, I'm probably like, Steve, go around the other side. It keeps rolling backwards.
Okay, I'll go around to the other side. But as soon as I sort of squat down and look at it, I can feel alter ego on my back, sort of hugging me and going again. So yeah, sort of.
Tony's talking to Optimus, going, scan under car. He's just got this ridiculous belief that Optimus can do just about anything, you know. So he's telling him to scan under the car or to scan the roller skate and all that.
I'm going to treat, at this point, I'm going to treat alter ego as though it's a rescue pit bull. And I don't know entirely whether I can trust it yet. It could be a really nice robot, or it might be a robot with a severe behavioral problem.
Well, I think this is going to be a good place to end it then, because I think if you didn't say it, I was going to. So, Steve, you crashed down on the other side. So, like, which is on the one, by the back tire. It pulled away, and then you kind of came around to the other side. And when you crouched down, your alter ego, like you said, he grips you a little bit harder now, and you can feel his two front claws, whatever you want to call them, are starting to dig in a little bit, and they're kind of hurting you a little bit. So there's a definite reaction. And with that, Tony is talking to Optimus, and when Optimus like boots up and you see the blue LEDs come on, suddenly the little roller skate just darts right towards Tony.
And Tony's like, ah! Cool.
Yeah, we'll call it there.
Excellent.
Cool.
Join us next week for the next enthralling episode of Our Friends and Machines.